What's up, everyone? I'm Demi, and I can see that was the oven. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining me. It's Friday night. I have so many wild plans, as you can see, and it's 6:20. I have no makeup on. I was in a bad mood today. Was not feeling hot, not feeling good, and so I wanted to do a video and just talk and bake, and I'm already feeling a little better, probably because of caffeine coursing through my veins. Pierre, every time, he doesn't care about me the entire day, and then as soon as I start recording, he's like, hello, it's Pierre's world, and you're all just living in it. I'm just like not having a great day today. Not to complain, I'm just being honest. There must be some shift in the world right now. I think emotions are coming up for a lot of people, and for whatever reason, I've been sleeping early and waking up like really early and eating a lot. So like, I'm just gonna go with it. Today, I'm going to be making yellow cake. I'm sure throughout your life, you've heard people tell you that sugar is bad for you. Don't listen to those people, block those people, cancel that word, bad. Sugar is not bad for you, and I stand by that, so we're gonna make cake. Bubby, he's standing on the trash can. My house closed on Tuesday, which was 3 days ago, and I was super pumped that day. And then Wednesday was meditation. I was feeling great. Yesterday, kind of not in the greatest mood, but not in a bad mood. And today, I'm just like, I don't know, just feeling like, I don't know if anyone can relate when sometimes you're just like over it. You just want to be a recluse for that day and not have to talk to anybody, not have to help anybody, not have to speak to anybody, and just sit there and exist and not have to interact with people and not have to do anything. And it's just, I don't know, it's like today was one of those days where I was just like, I don't want to help anyone, and I don't want to have to take care of anyone, and I don't have to do anything today. But at the same time, hoping and wishing that people will reach out to me, that they need me. I've literally been checking my phone so ridiculously, like such a crazy amount of times today, like looking to see if people have texted me if they need anything. Like, it's actually crazy. So there's a fun balance for you. This calls for half a cup of butter softened, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 4 large eggs, 2.5 cups of milk. So I asked for a sign this morning, and it's interesting because I feel like whenever I ask for a sign, I always get an answer, and sometimes if it's not the answer I want, I try to fit it in a way. It's like when you hear what you want to hear, selective hearing kind of. But anyways, I asked for a sign this morning, and like 10 minutes later, I was on Instagram, and I like happened to look at this post that I like wouldn't normally look at, and I looked at the post. It was like exactly what I was asking about. Basically, the post was, it was like a biblical post. I don't read the Bible, but like, respect you if you put yourself through that and read that. There's this post on Instagram basically saying like, if you always seek connections when you're feeling lonely, that loneliness will never go away. It's always going to stay there, and you'll just go from connection to connection to connection and still kind of feel lonely. And so the post was basically about being patient for the connections that you want and being patient for what it is that you want. Because when you are patient and you take care of yourself, then you just kind of meet people, things just kind of happen, and you're not really expecting it. It's like, could you imagine waking up in the morning and you're like, I will make a connection today, and you spend your entire day trying to make a connection? It's like, did you plan to meet your best friend to this day? No. Did you plan to meet your husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, soulmate on that day? No, you didn't wake up and you were like, I'm gonna meet my soulmate, so I'm gonna sit here and wait for them to show up. Like, no, things just kind of happen when you allow them to, and when you're happy. And when you're happy, you're not really thinking about it. I was like, man, like the start of the week couldn't have been better. I get a random refund in the mail, and it was like so much more than I could have asked for, because I really needed money to buy new stuff for my house, and I was like, oh, it's just gonna cost so much money. So I get this random refund in the mail. I'm like, sweet, that's gonna pay for all this stuff and more. And then my house closes, and I'm so excited for that. You would think I would be in the best mood ever and everything's wonderful and dandy, and for whatever reason, I'm just not. And so I'm so grateful to have what I have, but for some reason there's a disconnect today in my head of like not feeling the way that I know I can be feeling. And I was thinking a couple weeks ago, someone reached out to me a couple weeks ago because they were feeling really, really unhappy and lost, and so they reached out to me to do a Reiki session on them. And I thought about that. I didn't think about it at the time, but today I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, like they have a lot of the things that I want. They got married a couple years ago and they're with their soulmate, love of their life, and I'm like, man, like I want a soulmate. Where's my soulmate? Just gonna throw that out there, soulmate. And so I'm like, man, I want my soulmate. And they have a really good job and they're making really good money. And it seemed like their life is really good, right? And so today I was thinking about it and I was like, wow, they have all these things that like I want that I feel like I don't have. Like one of the things obviously right now. And so in my head, I was like, well, they should be happy, right? Like they have the love of their life, they have their family, they have their house, they have the job, they have the income, they have the money. So why is he feeling really unhappy? And I was thinking about that today and I was like, you know what? Like just because you have your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife doesn't make you happy 24/7, 7 days a week. Just because you have money coming in every single month for this and that and more, it doesn't make you happy. Just because you have a check refund coming in the mail doesn't make you necessarily happy. So I think I'm kind of on this journey of like really understanding what people mean when they say like happiness comes within, because you like I hear this all the time. Go on type in happiness quotes and you'll just get Tumblr vomited on of happiness is within. Don't ever rely on anyone for your happiness because happiness comes from within. Ow, that like made me cramp up. You hear about it all day long and it's like, I feel like that is the golden ticket of life, is to just be happy, and it's so simple. And then you're driving and you just come from the gym and you're in such a good mood because you spent 2 hours at the gym and you ran into a friend and you did such a good workout and you had so much energy and you're feeling yourself in your little pink camo leggings and your stomach is flat and you're like, oh man, this is great. And then 5 minutes later, someone honks at you in the Whole Foods parking lot and you're like, I'm gonna kill you. And then you're driving and someone honks at you even though it's a red light or it was a green light, but a car was like just turning, like they really drove through the red, hypothetical story. And so it's like, if I were to go right when the light turned green, I would have hit this car, but somehow I should still hit this car and someone's honking at me. So then you're like, wow, I was having such a good day. And then you're gonna try to ruin it. Well, that's the thing. Placing other people like as a source of your happiness will never work. And like having expectations of people, regardless of how well you know this person, like having expectations of your husband or wife is not going to work. Like having expectations of the people you love and care about the most is never going to work because you're not them and they're not you, and you're never going to know what they're thinking. You can only really know how other people feel. And so I was thinking about all this today and I was like, wow, like all these things can happen to a person and you can still not necessarily feel happy. What does it mean when happiness comes from within? Because I know in the moments that I'm really genuinely happy, I'm usually chilling by myself in the car, driving, listening to music, or I'm with Pierre, or I'm with someone that I love, or it's like, you're just like happy and you don't care about what's happening or how much money you're making or this or that. You're just happy. So I don't know. I just wanted you word vomit that. If you're not with your soulmate yet, if you're single, if you don't have the dream job, if you're not completely over the moon happy when you wake up and you don't go to bed happy, if you're dealing with some financial hardship, if you're dealing with heartbreak, if you feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like whatever it is, like just know that happiness really does come from within. And I think people, I've done this in the past, I'll speak for myself. I make it really hard for myself because it's fun. And there's been so many times where something could have been so easy and I just had to make it hard for myself. So maybe like look at yourself and be like, am I making certain things in my life like way harder than they actually need to be? Do I really need to struggle in this way if you're causing it in your life? Because I feel like being happy does not need to be hard. I don't think being happy needs to be a struggle. I think that's your right as a human is to be happy. I think that's why souls come down here and they live here to experience duality also, but also like to be happy. I don't know if anyone else, like, do you ever just feel like you feel bad for being in a bad mood because you're like, I should be happy right now. I have everything. I have a house. I should be happy. And it's like, of course I'm happy that I have the house. I don't know, man. It's like a lifelong journey, I think, of just learning to enjoy the present moment and just being happy with exactly where you are in this moment. Because if exactly where you are in this moment is that your heart is beating and you're alive and you still have a chance of making your life better, then you still have a chance of making your life better. It's like every day that you're alive is kind of like another opportunity to get stuff going. Pierre is over there. He's like, I'm gonna mess up your cake because I can. Just kidding, you're an angel. I was thinking to myself, I was like, if the flower is white, how is this yellow right now? And then I just remembered butter. A lot of people need evidence and they need proof of things to believe, right? It's like most people are science people. Most people nowadays think they know everything about science, and it's like, okay. I think it's funny when I'm gonna be nice today. So a lot of people, myself included, you want to see evidence that something exists, right? That makes sense. But sometimes you just like, what I've learned in order to be happy is you just, by having the faith of a mustard seed, by just trusting that is the proof, is you believe it and it just kind of comes to life. The interesting thing is no one doubts that there's electricity, right? You don't necessarily see the signals going back and forth. That's the extent of my knowledge about electricity. I don't even know if signals do that. I don't even really know the extent of what a signal is, but I know electricity exists. I know that when I turn the light on, I see the light come on. I don't see the middle part of the electricity setting a signal to the lamp and it turning on, or the light switch, but I know that it exists. Same thing with emotions. Everyone feels emotions, but we don't. I've never seen an emotion other than, a personification of it in an emoji. I've never seen with my naked eye, I was gonna say an emoji. I've never seen with my naked eye a emotion. I've never tasted it. I've never touched one. I've never smelled one. But somehow, some way, I know that emotions are real, but I've never seen it. Same thing goes with, I believe, frequency. For all you like secret people, like The Secret and manifesting, when you visualize something and you just imagine that you already have it and you imagine what it feels like and all that, it's like the frequency of what you want, right? You have to match that. If you want to meet your soulmate and you're pretending to be someone else, you're probably not going to end up with your soulmate. If you change your frequency out of fear, meaning if you change who you are, if you make a decision out of fear, if you do anything out of fear that changes your frequency, and then you don't attract the frequency of what it is that is meant for you, you attract something else. So when it comes to emotions, it's like if you've ever been in a really good mood and you're fine, you're in a good mood, and then you walk into the grocery store and then you're driving home from the grocery store and you're like, man, like I'm just in a bad mood. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Or you hang out with a friend and you miss your friend and you love your friend and it's great. And then your friend goes home and a couple hours later, you're like, I'm just annoyed. And then you start a fight with your spouse or your roommates or your cat or someone. It's like because there's emotions and frequencies that you cannot see with the naked eye, but they're there because everyone vibrates at a certain frequency. Everyone has a certain like oscillation rate. Everyone has emotions. Oops. And what happens is your energy field picks up other people's emotions and your brain tries to process them as if they're your own. So that can cause you to have a panic attack. That can cause you to feel angry. That can cause you to feel jealous. That can cause you to feel anything other than happy. And it's as simple as being self-aware enough to know thyself, knowing your triggers, knowing what you've been through, knowing yourself, knowing when you're projecting. How many times do you blame someone else for something that you know you would do, and you either feel guilty about it, or you're in denial about it, or maybe you're not even self-aware enough to know that you do it, which is fine too. It's like people who blame other people for stuff usually would do it themselves, or they are doing it, or they have done it. I know a lot of people who accuse their person of cheating when they're the ones who are actually cheating. It's called projection. So when you understand, I'm getting so winded. So when you are self-aware enough to understand your own emotions and then clear your emotions. I spend at least 10 to 15 minutes a day clearing my emotions, because I know when I'm in a good mood and then all of a sudden I get into a kind of like a weird mood, it's because I need to clear my emotions out. So if you can just have the self-awareness to know that you exist and someone else exists, and if there's someone in your life that annoys you or gets under your skin, or you feel like they're out to get you, or they piss you off, or they make you angry, or you judge this person, realize that that is a piece of you and you wouldn't see it unless you had it. You wouldn't accuse someone of being jealous if you weren't jealous, or if you wouldn't be jealous in that situation, or you don't even realize that you're jealous, but you are, or you were taught that being jealous is really bad. I accuse my cat Pierre of being moody. Like, because the way his eyes are, he has like those huge eyes. I accused him of being moody all the time. I'm like, oh, you're so grumpy, you're so moody. He's a cat. He's staring at me right now. He's probably not moody. He's probably not grumpy. If anything, he's hungry. If anything, I was grumpy and moody in that situation, so I'm projecting it onto my cat. I hear this a lot where people are like, oh, my cat or dog is so jealous. It is not possible for a cat or dog to be jealous. You can come at me with all your animal articles. No, your pets do not feel jealousy. The only reason you would say they're jealous is because you have been jealous, and so you're going to see it that way. It's that simple. You will create what you see based on how you feel about yourself, and you will see it in everyone around you. And it's pretty liberating when you realize that you really are, you're different than other people, but you're also the same at the same time, because the stuff you accuse other people of doing, be honest with yourself, you probably do it. It just makes life a lot easier and a lot better when you realize, like, oh, okay, like maybe that's something I would do, and then you don't really get pissed off by that person anymore. You have compassion for that person, not pity, compassion, because if you pity them, you think you're better than them, and you're not. No one's better than anyone. Ooh, mesmerizing. So the next time I get mad at someone for being late, I need to remind myself that I'm literally late to everything. So just remember, if you're in your room and you're feeling insecure because you're alone on a Friday night, if you're alone on a Friday night and you feel lonely, from personal experience, if you're feeling lonely, you still have some work to do on your relationship with yourself, and that's perfectly okay. I think everyone will always have work to do on their relationship with themselves, but just know, if you're feeling lonely, hanging out with someone just because you're lonely, or doing this social thing just because you're lonely, or going here, going there just because you're lonely, that loneliness isn't really going to go away. So you have to get to the root of it and just realize that, like, when you have finally accepted yourself for who you are, when you feel happy in that moment, you will feel happy alone. And it is the best. There is no better feeling than being alone and being happy in your own company. That honestly is the best feeling, especially while you're young. That is a very good skill to develop, because there's been a lot of times in my teenage years and in my college years where I would feel really lonely. So I'd go here and I'd go there and I'd be a social butterfly, and then I would feel depleted and worn out and tired at the end of the day because I was giving all my energy to other people and not giving any energy to myself, and I was letting other people's emotions and energies affect me, and I would let people drain me. This is before I really understood emotions and energy and that kind of stuff. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with being alone on a Friday night or a Tuesday night or a Saturday night or a Monday night, whatever it is, as long as you feel happy, like the pure frequency of happiness. That is it. That is all. If you feeling happy is being alone on a Friday night watching a movie by yourself, like, that is amazing. If you feeling happy on a Friday night is you dancing your butt off at some club and dancing till 3 a.m, that is amazing. So it's just, what I've learned is I had to be really honest with myself about what I like to do, and realizing that a lot of what I like to do is not fun for a lot of other people, but that's okay because I like it. And if you like it and if you're happy, then that is all that matters. And then you will just attract to you people who like to do what you do, and you will attract to people the same frequency that you are, because when you're yourself and you're doing things that make you happy and you aren't concerned about the outside looking at you, you'll just meet people, you'll just have experiences that are, worthwhile. So I might not be like jet setting off in a private jet to Ibiza with a bottle of champagne right now with 30 people and an entourage. I'm alone in my apartment right now baking a cake on a Friday night, but like, I'm happy right now. I have my beautiful cat who likes me sometimes, and I have this beautiful apartment that I feel safe in, and I have my health, and I have a heart that beats, and I have the ability to see and to speak and to listen, and I have people who love me, and I have a car, and I have a house now, and I have a fridge full of food, and I have water. It's like I have so many things. And at this particular moment, like, I am happy. And it's like, when you're happy, you're just happy that it's it. So anyways, into the oven. I used to be like really insecure about spending a lot of time alone, and I used to like not want people to know that I was like spending time alone. Now that I think I've like come more into my own, now that I have like a bit more sense of self and identity, I realize like how nice it is to be not like alone all the time, but I think when you're alone in certain moments and you feel really good in your own skin and you feel comfortable with yourself and you feel happy in your own company, you just have fun by yourself, and that's a really nice feeling. And I think in the past, when I was younger, I was never happy being alone. I was really restless. I was always lonely. I was always looking for some distraction, some external stimulation to like not feel alone. And then I realized I wasn't feeling lonely because I was alone. In fact, I was constantly surrounded by people. I was feeling lonely because I wasn't doing what it is that I wanted to do, and I was pretending to be something that I wasn't. And when you pretend to be something that you aren't to impress someone or a group of people, or when you pretend to be something you're not because you don't think you're good enough or you think you're lame, you will always feel lonely. Take it from me, personal experience. If you are not yourself, you will never feel happy. And so I think whatever makes you happy, just do it. And who cares if someone else thinks it's lame, because it makes you happy. It's fun to put yourself out of your comfort zone, and I think that is like always a positive thing. So like putting yourself out of your comfort zone, going somewhere that you normally wouldn't, doing something that you've always wanted to do, like hanging out with someone that you're nervous to hang out with, like I feel like those are always a good idea. And just like, having courage to do different stuff, like have the courage to take a class that you've always wanted to take, that you think you're no good at because you've never done it, but it's like you could surprise yourself. And if you're horrible, you're actually not, because you had the courage to take the class or go on the trip or do the this or that. And so when you have the courage to do something out of your comfort zone, you can never fail, because you just showing up is a success and a win. So you could be the absolute worst dancer in the dance class, and it doesn't matter because you had the courage to show up, so you are a winner. I'm debating on whether or not I should add chocolate chips. Something that has been really exciting for me recently and eye-opening is like learning. I feel like I'm learning who everyone is all over again, as if I'm just meeting these people for the first time. Since I've moved away and started to like individualize, I feel like I am seeing so many people in my life that I've known for years and years and years for like the first time. Like I'm just getting to know people again. And I think you can really only like understand other people to the extent that you understand yourself. And so you can only really see other people like as best as you see yourself. And I feel like now that I understand myself more, I'm starting to see people in my life more. And there's been times where I really judged the people in my life that I really love. And I would judge these people. I was really judging myself. And there was just like a lot of cool moments over the past month where I just had a lot of compassion for these people in my life. And I really was like, wow, like I really admire these people. Like I didn't notice these qualities before because I didn't really know myself to even notice anything for that matter. It's fun as you evolve and you grow and you change and you become a better person. Not saying that I'm becoming a better person, but like personally, I feel like I'm becoming a better person. So as you become a better person, as you begin to like yourself, as you begin to love yourself, which so many people find so cringe. I, for years, found that so cringe, like loving yourself. Ew, that's selfish. I used to think that was selfish. That's pretty horrible. But as you begin to know yourself, you see clearly other people. And instead of judging them, pitying them, being mean at the end of the day, you feel, at least I have felt compassion for these people and been like, whoa, like you really showed me a lot about myself that I didn't know before and I didn't see before. And that has been very cool because at the end of the day, it's like, I think part of the reason souls come down here and live this life is to experience love and relationships and friendships. Like, could you imagine a world where you didn't know other people? Like, that would be crazy. So it's been fun. It's been humbling for sure because I realized a lot of my judgments in the past were, some things are just not as they seem, usually. I will leave it at that. This is gonna be a thick cake. Forgot to do an outro, but thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Comment below, are you team cake or cookies or both? I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Bye. Cheers.